right. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our virtual series with the lovely Lorna and Sarah. My name is Jacqueline Benson. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the co-vice president of American Ice Theater. So just wanted to give a super quick overview of AIT if this is your first time engaging with us or joining us for something. So up on the screen is a little slide with some info about us. So as most of you know, I'm sure, we are an artistic skating company that focuses on both education and performance around contemporary skating. And we host multiple events per year. The overview is just obviously listed up there on the screen. We have the American Contemporary Skating Festival for choreographers and professional skaters. We have Core Camp for our kids. And then we also have the Adult Weekend Skateaway coming up. So I wanted to just tell you guys a little bit more about that. This is in September, from September 20th to 22nd in Austin, Texas. And actually early bird registration is still open for that, up for the next 2 weeks. So if you would like to join us for that, we would love to have you. I'll put up our little save the date here. So that's in Austin, Texas, and it's a weekend contemporary skating retreat for adults of all skill levels, all backgrounds, all experiences with skating. And we focus on the whole variety of contemporary skating concepts, from dance to yoga to mindfulness to improvisation to learning some choreography on the ice. So it's a really, really fun, wonderful way to engage with other adults in our contemporary skating community. And yeah, it's just a wonderful weekend away. So if you'd like any more information on that, please feel free to head to our website, or I'll stick around at the end of class to answer any questions that you might have about that. So let me go back to my other slide. Yes, and then we also, I won't chat for too long so I can turn it over to Lorna, but yes, we have a lot of other opportunities for education, including our Master Choreography Techniques course, 6 Ways of the Spine, this virtual series that you're participating in, and then we also have satellite locations in Boston, Cleveland, Minneapolis, and New Hampshire for this upcoming year. So yes, that's kind of the quick rundown. And yeah, thanks again so much for joining us. And with that, I would love to introduce our fabulous guest, Lorna. She is a world and Olympic choreographer and world professional champion. She has starred in 3 of John Curry's productions in London and New York, and as well as in many ice shows and TV specials across the world. So we're so lucky that she is here with us today. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Lorna. And let me stop sharing my screen. And then hopefully that will turn it over so she can see herself. So Lorna, I think if you click the little dots, like there's the 3 little dots by your name. Here, wait, I think actually I can do it. Hold on. Okay, I just pinned you. So can everyone see Lorna and Sarah in the central screen? Yes, give me a thumbs up if it's working. Okay, great.
I can't see, let's see. I can see everyone coming up, but I can't see Sarah and I. How do we do that? Yeah, can we make that bigger? Oh, where's it gone? Oh no. There's something. What do we click on?
You should be able to see. I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with how Zoom looks on an iPad, but you could maybe try to scroll. Like if the view is of all of the people, that might.
Or they can pin their own screen.
Okay, I'm trying to get this one bigger. You can't. Okay. All right. Hi, Fred. Hi. Okay, so so we need to see. I need to get this bigger, and then the people on the bottom. Can we do that?
There's 3 dots, and you can like pin it. Like
where are the 3 dots?
Like next to all the different people.
Up here, there's something. I know this morning we did it.
It has like 3 dots.
Sarah, there was something up here this morning.
There's 3 dots on your picture. Just go pin.
Yes,
Pin
I
it.
tried to pin their video for everyone. It might look a little different because it's on an iPad. You said you're on an iPad, right, Lorna?
Yeah, it's just, yeah. But I did it with him this morning. There's three things there.
Yeah, if you see three dots, that will definitely, Fred is right. That is how you'll get there.
Oh, I don't know how to make it bigger. No,
It says pin.
I know I can see Fred all over my screen, but I can't see everybody else. And then
Could you maybe try, I don't know if this works, this is pure speculation, to try to just like swipe, like if you have the
oh,
view of all of the people, like swipe one way or the other, I think that might work.
I can see a big picture of you, and I wondered if I could get Sarah and I so we can see what we're doing. Like,
Um,
it
because
worked.
on
I know
my
we did.
Spotlight
side,
control, the moderator. Can you say spotlight, Lorna?
yes, I have Lorna's video pinned. So on my side, it should, what it looks like for me and what I don't know if it looks like for you guys is Lorna is like the main screen and then everyone else is in a little line up at the top. Is that at all what it looks
Yeah.
like for anyone else?
I see a tiny little one of Sarah
That's
and
how it
me.
is for us.
This is frustrating.
Hi.
It worked with Garrett, and I don't know why it's not. How we can't get this up? Oh, there it is. Okay, I
It's
did
good.
it. Yeah, I just tapped on
Yay!
it twice.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Amazing.
all right. So I'll get started now.
Okay.
With
Oh, and I would just
everyone.
say, if everyone could, if possible, to turn your video on, just so Lorna and Sarah feel like they have
Turn that music off.
your attention. It would be great if they could see your lovely faces. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So here today to share a little bit about how it all started for me. And I'll try and do that really quickly because obviously there's many, many years to go through. But basically, I started off when I was 3 years old and I was a dancer. And my mum took me to do ballet and tap and modern stage and all of those things. So I was on the stage when I was actually 3. And then I started skating when I was 9. And then took off pretty quickly because I had all the ballet training and went through a whole amateur career, international, everything. I became junior champion and when I turned professional, world professional champion, and I did lots of shows. I won't go into all of them. And then John Curry was an amazing person to work with. I trained with when I was young as well. And so the experience that I got from that was working with some world famous, legendary choreographers like Kenneth McMillan from the Royal Ballet, and there was just a list a mile long, but that was a great help to me. And then I studied Martha Graham for many years and used a lot of that in my contemporary type of choreography. I've written a lot of poetry and I've written some articles, and so I thought maybe we could start off if you think about this as just choreography, me helping you with my ideas and that kind of thing. So the first thing is to choose the music that you want to use for either for yourself or for your student. And that music is very important because you're going to use it many, many times and skate to it many, many times. And you have to feel that it becomes you and you become the music. And you feel those vibrations of that music in you. And that's what you project out into the audience. You project that feeling that you have. And the shapes and the movement of the music becomes movement of the body. So when you interpret the music, it's not just you trying to make shapes and forms to the music, it's actually what you're feeling from the music that comes through. So I thought maybe we'd start off with a nice piece of music. If you go away, that's what the music is called. And then we'll start off before we actually do the music. I thought if you want, you can actually I can do a start position, because that's what we have to do. We have to have a position. Let me just take my glasses off. We have a start position. So let's just do anything like Sarah's going to watch what I do, and then she's going to do it as well. So we're going to start off in a position. And if you play the music, and then I'll do a little bit, and then Sarah will improvise a little bit, and then we'll talk about how we put movements together. Okay, so let's start. Nice and loud.
Lorna, we don't see you.
Oh no, something changed.
It was focused on Sarah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Should we try? Okay, I'll try it again. I don't know why it's doing this. It's like it's AI or something. It's doing its own thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's like maybe focusing where the sound is coming from.
It should be. It should. I don't know, but try putting the speaker down there.
Yeah, pause.
It's zooming in and out by itself. Don't know.
I'm gonna do a quick search of how to stop that from happening. I have never seen that before.
No, it's like it should have my whole body in now.
There should be a button that helps you turn off like the automatic like zoom.
The automatic zoom.
There should be something. I
see how it's
amazing.
Sarah's having a look at it to see what to do. It's still not full length. It's not.
Right now I can see your whole body.
Oh, I see. Okay, we'll try again. Do you want to do the other music, the piano music? So we're going to use this piano music, and I'm going to do something again. And then I would like to see if you want to do this, to try it and see if you can interpret something in the same way, a little bit of improvisation. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this leg in front, and then I'm just going to kind of lean a little bit over to the right and twist my fingers, cross the arms. And then Sarah's going to do some improvisation. Okay, we'll pause it. Okay, so I thought maybe if we communicate a little bit with people who are there, and what I was going to do is like talk about how we go like from say one position and then into another position, and then just carry on making all different shapes and forms. So do you want to do some improvisation? Would that be something you're open to, or do you want to just, yes?
Sure.
Okay.
Try it.
Okay. So I just want you to feel like if I was your coach or your choreographer right now, I would tell you just to completely do whatever you feel, not to feel any inhibitions about yourself or your, you know, how good it is or how not good it is or whatever, but just to feel the music and let the music become you, and try to feel that you're using your body, your shoulders, your back, your arms, your fingers. Hands are so important because they really express what you're saying. I mean, imagine it when you're just talking like this and you don't use your hands at all. It's the same thing. And then I think of the head, like your face and your expression in your face, so important. And your hands at the end of your arms and your feet at the end of your legs. So you're like a star. You stand like, like this, like a star. And so all the energy coming out of your hands and your fingers and your toes, it's flowing out, and that energy is reaching out around you. So let's put the music on. Can you hear the music okay?
It's a little tough to hear. It might be easier if we move the speaker a little closer to the computer.
Okay, we've got it right here.
Then maybe further. It might be distorted because it's too close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yep, that's better. That's great.
Okay. Need to pause it. Okay, from what I can see, it's not very it's not very big, but I saw some lovely flowing movement. So as I've talked about the arms, I want to do some contraction movements. So I'm going to get Sarah. I'm going to do something, and then I'm going to get Sarah to do it, so I can explain to you exactly how I'm teaching a contraction. Okay, so let's go back here. So we're going to kind of like be together right now. I'll be a little bit in front. So go back a little bit more maybe. So I want to put the arms right back and just put the legs a little bit apart. And then I want us to arch. So we're going to really arch the back and like really stick your butt out and then push your chest forwards. And then I want you to really reach down and then drop the arms down to the floor and then pull the arms up, 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 and back. So I'm going to do that to the front now. So we're going to go again, bend your knees, push your hips back, arms back. And what we're going to do with the arms, I'll just do that. So when you go down, you're going to brush the floor with your hands, and then you're going to cross the hands, that your head will be down, and you're going to really wrap the hands, like framing your face. And then I want you to reach right up to the ceiling as far as you can, feeling the whole body stretch, and then go all the way out to the side, and then come back to here. So let me just get Sarah to do it in both directions. So she's going to do it forwards first, arms are back, head back. Now all the way down, bend the knees. Now sweep the hands on the floor, drop the head right down and wrap the hands around the head, and then up to the ceiling, and then out and straighten up the knees. Okay, now sideways, the same thing sideways, arms are back, bend, and drop the head right down, touch the ground, wrap the hands around the head, reach up to the ceiling, straighten the knees up and out. Okay, so let's have a look and see everybody do that contraction. It's difficult to see. trying to see. Cross there, down. That was lovely, Dorothy. Really good. Is this Anika? It's so small, I can hardly see it.
Monica, sorry.
It's very difficult to see. It's so small. And then Phoebe Flynn. Yeah. Okay. But do you get the feeling of what I want, like something really flowing? And there's different ways of doing this. So there's another exercise. Let me show you this. Okay. So Sarah, what it's going to be is you're going to stand with both feet apart, and then you're going to do a contraction like this, and then you're going to step to the side and do like almost like an Ina Bauer and go all the way back and come up. Then you're going to go down again to the front here, legs are apart, and then you're going to bend one leg and go to the other side. So Sarah's going to demonstrate this. So she's going to have legs apart. Now a big contraction, right down, cross, and then go to the side, like an Ina Bauer almost, and come up straight, face the front, contract down, right down, and then slide forwards and all the way back, and up and face front to finish. Okay. And then the other thing I was thinking to do was some of the leg movements that I use on the ice. And some of those are like, there's a Martha Gray movement that works really well on the ice. And we're going to go like in and back and round. So in and back and round. Sarah, can you demonstrate that? So it's like in, and it's like a circle. So it's a knee circle to the front and a leg circle to the back. And you see the arms are moving freely with the leg movements. Very good. Okay, so that's one thing. And then we can use that and we can go into a kick. So I'm now going to try and put some things together. So we're going to do this knee movement like this. And as we come round, lift the leg right up to the side. Let's try that. Okay, go right back. And so knee in and back and kick. That's it. And then the nice position to finish. Okay. So that's kind of like a figure eight. So your knee is going to go like in. So this goes in here, and then the leg circles at the back. So it's like a figure eight. So the knee goes up and then behind, and then up to the side and down and finish. Sarah, let's do that one more time. Have a look. So balance and circle the knee up, back, kick, and down. Beautiful. Okay. So would you like to try a little bit? The knee action, forwards and then back and then to the side. There's no sound coming in. I don't know whether there is any sound. Not sure.
Lorna, are you
Okay.
trying to hear sound from them, or is there no sound?
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to hear them. I'm not hearing anything from them, but I don't know if they would like, if we could just have a little bit of a questions and answers thing, just to break up this, and then we can carry on.
So you guys should be able to just unmute yourself and talk. So maybe everyone come and unmute and share.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would like to know a little bit about your thoughts and about what you're interested in, whether it's about, you know, the actual choreography or how the music affects you, or whatever the questions might be about the movements. Very important.
I was wondering, when you think about choreography and movement, for you, is it a process of connecting shapes?
Well, yeah. Well, the shapes obviously come through training and, you know, the things you've learned from dance and mostly from dance and other choreographers. And also from your imagination. I mean, you could look at a tree or a fish, or I get a lot of my inspiration from anything, you know, from animals, the way an animal moves, or you see a seahorse, or, you know, these are just typical things, but something will grab my imagination. And like the other night also, I imagined things, you know, I was imagining skating backwards and then crossing over into this really low position and then changing the edge and doing like a choctaw and then skidding onto my right foot and like into this long skid. And, you know, I just imagine doing things. And shape, you're talking about shapes and forms. Yeah. Like, let's do something with Sarah now. Let's pretend that we're choreographing. We're just going to pretend something without any music. Okay, so I'm just going to put her into a position, and we haven't rehearsed any of this, so I don't really know what we're going to do. Okay, so Sarah, let's just start off with something like here. Okay, so she's going to start off, that's it, where she's kind of like, go back a little bit, Sarah. Okay, so from here, then I want her to sort of like bring the hands up and then push one arm out like that. And then I want her to drop one arm back and then put the back of the hand over here and then turn around and then stick everything this way like that. And then bring both arms forwards. Now let's see if she can remember that, and then we can try it. It's just, let's see. So here, fingers and out and push one arm up. Drop one hand across the head, turn around, and then just turn the other way. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit different. It doesn't matter. It's hard just to pick everything up or you know, absolutely straight away. But go back to your question again. Let's have a conversation about that.
I was just wondering, in the way that you demonstrated to the movement is going from shape to shape, and then I suppose once you play the music, that might dictate how fast you're moving from that downward pose coming from the one arm.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Let's put some music on and do the same thing again. I'm just going to let Sarah choose. Okay, she's going to do the same thing. Let's see how this changes. Ready? Do a leg. Okay. You can't do it too long because, yeah, that was beautiful. Oh. Oh. Where's it coming from? Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. Where is it coming from? Huh? Where is it coming from? Oh, sorry about that. All these phones and iPads and technology and everything. So that was beautiful. I've worked with Sarah though for many, many years, since she was 7 years old. So she can read me like a book. Let's go back again. Is she? Where is it? Okay. Um, how the music makes you feel, even though you might say everybody's doing the same choreography, the same positions, but they all interpret it differently, and also the music could be different, and so that would bring out a different feeling to those movements that might change the shape of them a little bit. Is that what you were meaning?
Yeah, it's something I understand, and I was more curious about your thought process through how that comes out in your choreography.
Yeah, sometimes, to be honest with you, and I know this happens with a lot of dance choreographers, is they are completely blank before they start a piece of choreography. Even though you can sometimes imagine things, it's that reality that you're there and you think, what am I going to do? But if you just follow your instincts, it's very organic. Just like let it flow, and don't try too hard, say, to do a certain position this way or that way. But then once you've done it, you can really shape up the movements. You can then construct them a little bit more into a specific shape, refine the movements in the lines, and one arm's too high, one arm's too low, that kind of thing. But it's actually quite hard in a way to talk about choreography because it's very instinctive. It's something that that comes from your emotion and your memories of your life, or something might be happening in your life now that you want to express. And in the amateur world, it's very hard because you have a lot of jumps and spins and steps and all the rules to cope with. So what I try to do with the competition program, I don't know if any of you teach skaters who are competing, but I usually make sure the very beginning is very special. And throughout the program, there'll be movement and arms and legs and steps and everything else, as well as the elements. But the middle part, you have a strong beginning. When I say strong, I don't necessarily mean it's fast. It's very clear what is going on artistically. And then in the middle, have a part which is also very beautiful or dynamic, or whether it's a jazz piece or whatever. So you go back into the style of what you're doing. And then again, at the end, it's really important, starting position is very important, ending position. So you end up, maybe you don't have time because of all the elements you've had to put in or whatever, but you must have a really, really great ending position. So that's something. I mean, if you would like me to show you some things that I've done already, and I can also express a little bit about pieces that I've choreographed. Like I did a piece for Beata Handra, which I called Into the Light, and the music was from a composer called Guy Bacchus, and it was called Mourning. So it was a person who was mourning somebody who they had lost. So I didn't want it to be too morbid, so I changed it to Into the Light, and he allowed us to use his music. And I made the whole piece about reaching for that connection in another dimension with her lost loved one, whether it's her boyfriend or her father or brother or whoever that, just another person. And so I used that as the theme for the whole piece. And there was sometimes it was very sad, sometimes it was very dramatic, sometimes it was hopeless, sometimes it was, felt connected. There was all of these things came into it. And then I did another piece for which I called, it's for Liz Yoshiko Schmidt, who I'm sure you're familiar with. And it's called When Atoms Embrace. And this is actually quite, it's quite scientific. in a way, because I'm actually quite scientific in the way I think, and together with nature. But the whole thing was, even though I called it When Atoms Embrace, it's like all the time our atoms are working inside of us, like billions of them probably. But I made this piece about, and it's nothing to do with religion or anything, it's just to do with this energy, if this being of some sort comes to the earth and spreads all of this love through the whole planet and wipes out all this negativity and all of these wars and hatred and suffering. And so the whole piece was all about that feeling. That was the feeling that I put into it. And so this being comes down, and then there's all this movement which expresses those feelings. And then at the end, this part where she's walking, and this big leg movement of walking, and that's when she's trying to go back to where she came from. And so at the end, everything is purified and beautiful. And that's how I thought about the whole piece. And then the next thing I choreographed was a piece for Ksenia Ponomarova and Colin Brubaker called Sacrosanct, which means sacred. And it's all about two trees in a forest. And through all of the terrible things that go on with the rainforest, how they're cutting them down and burning them, and all of the animals and everything are destroyed. And it's about these two trees trying to hang on to each other and save each other from all of this, this terrible destruction. So the next thing was a piece called Timelessness, because in a way, what we think of as time, it's kind of, we've invented it, but there is no end to anything and no beginning to anything as such. So it's a very delicate piece, and it has a very soft beginning and a big beautiful build up, and all of these things are on YouTube. And then I did a beautiful piece for Sarah here called Love, which was in memory of John Lennon, and she performed it in the Rockefeller Center on Valentine's Day in a red dress. So that was very, very nice. And it was to express love. And, love is wanting, love is needing, love is whatever. There's lots of things. So those pieces are kind of my most recent pieces that I've done. So let's have a little bit of a talk again about what things you would like me to tell you or express to you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Lorna, I know that the topic of this class was called Stylistic Dynamics. So I would love if maybe you could share with us about like what that means to you,
right.
and how
Okay.
that,
Yeah. So what it is, actually my brother he's a sculptor, and he's one of the most famous in the world. And he taught me this, and he said, imagine you have a piece of clay and somebody's made, it's still soft, right? So they make, like, you think of, what plasticine is? I don't know, they call it the same thing in America. Soft. So you make, actually, let me go and get that sculpture for me from the bedroom. So there's a sculpture, and it's a shape, and you want to make that shape and turn it into something else. That's what stylistic dynamics is that, and I will show you something with Sarah. This is one of my brother's sculptures here. And you can see it from all different angles, looks different, from every angle. It's different from every position that you put it in. And actually that is like 3D printed. And so there's a lot of movement. He called that ridge because of all the, like around a mountain, there's all these things, ridges. Anyway, so stylistic dynamics is when you take it, let's do something. Let me show you something with Sarah. I'm going to tell her just to do something, and then I'm going to reshape it. Okay, so Sarah, let's just do anything that you can imagine. Okay, so she's starting like that. So I'm going to tell her to put this arm over her head, and then I want her to drop the wrist. Drop the wrist. Now let's do the same. Let me see. So let's pull this one underneath. Pull underneath. You see how beautiful that is? Come a little bit closer, Sarah. Okay, so there. So let's go back to the beginning again. She just started off just like that. And then I told her to move this arm over, and then the other one to there. But then I might think, oh, I think that should, let's see, what can we do with that? So we're here like this, and then I might change it to this, you see? And then from there, maybe take the arms back into a low position. Go back a little bit, Sarah. Go back a little bit. So from there to there. Okay. And then so go back into the last position. To go the low position, like that. Okay. Now I want you to cross your hands behind the lower part of your back and then pull them forwards. Yeah. So you'd start off, let's just do that last position again. So you see a position and you think, go, put the arms behind. So you put the arms back and you think, what can I do with this to make it move, to make it, so cross the arms behind your back, now bring them right down the side of the body and stretch them forwards. Okay, now push your hands, flex your hands, that's it, and push them up to the ceiling, and then lean forwards on your left leg and back. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know whether that's any help or not, but it would be great if I was with you in person. It would be a lot easier than just being on a screen. You know, it's much better to be hands-on, and but it's just like you were drawing something. I'll explain this in another way as well. Imagine somebody writes something and you go, oh, I don't understand, because it's kind of scribbled. It's not written clearly. I can't see if that's an O or an A or an F or a J, you know, whatever. So you can't read the word because it's not well written. And to me, it's the same with a movement. Like what she just did was so clear, and the lines so clean, like in every direction, how she used her hands, whether it's this or whether it's there, or, you know, everything it's making a shape and form, but it's also got a feeling into it. Like sometimes I'll say, imagine, and I've actually done this, I've taken skaters into water and I've made them feel that they're pushing through the water and that they're pulling the water back to them, or they're pushing a heavy weight, or they're lifting something heavy, you know, using their imaginations, not just like going through the air, you know, without any intensity. So tell me what you think about that. Does that make any sense?
Yes, absolutely. That was a wonderful answer. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're very limited in space here, which is not so great either. You know, it's not like being in a huge ice rink where we're flying around and we can move through the space, because that's what's so beautiful about skating. And can you tell me a little bit about each one of you? Like, because I don't even really know anything about you. And it would be nice to, I know Fred, because Fred came to LA and I worked with him a little bit when he's got his new skates on. And I'm trying to see, it's so small. Phoebe? Phoebe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, Lorna.
So are you a coach? Do you still skate much, or?
All of the above. I'm a coach in the Denver area, a choreographer in the Denver area. So I mostly do that. I coach as well. And then I work with our theater and ice teams a ton too. Mm-hmm. So groups and individuals. And I skate sometimes, but not a ton anymore.
So is any of what I'm telling you any help to you?
Yes. I love the beginning, middle, and end. It's really hard when you do competitive programs to like find the time to create the art.
Yeah.
So that's really, really helpful. And I would love to know more about like how you tie those things together in a competitive type program. Does that make sense?
Well, what I try to do, I've just done a program for a novice girl, and she's wonderful. And we did it to Spartacus, and I designed her costume. It's being done in Russia. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then I have actually a bit of a video, but I don't have it ready to show you. But she's going to be competing this weekend. And I started off, it's dun, da da dun, 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 da da dun, dun, da 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 da. I don't know if you can find it. I'll see if Sarah can find something. Let me just see. And you can get an idea of something on the ice. Let's have a look at videos. Quick. Albums, videos. Where would it go back to here? That's Sarah. Oh, okay. I found her, but I'm just wondering. Okay, well, I'm getting there, because I'm showing lots and lots of pieces. I'm trying to get something from the beginning, so from the very start. It might take too long to find it. Oh, here's, I don't know if this is the right one, but we can try. And I don't know if you can see this either, but okay. Dum dum da da dum 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 da da dum dum da dum da dum dun da 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 dum. And then she's learning it though. She's just learning, but that was just the beginning. And then she goes off into, she's supposed to go right down in that learning. She didn't go this is a double axel. It's all the wrong way around. It's all the opposite direction. And then we try to use the hands. We stopped there. So hand, yeah. But so anyway, after every element, I'll find something to do that is in the same kind of mood, the same kind of, when I say mood, I mean style, that suits that era, that Spartacus. And, I would look at ballet, but I didn't copy anything from it, but I would get inspired by watching ballet, not skating so much, and watch ballet. And then she does one movement. See if you can find that movement where she goes back on the toes. Let's see. You know the one I mean? Like Emmanuel Sandou. I would try to get, like, say you want to do something like you're going like this, and then you bend your knees and do like a toe stop, and then you go all the way back and turn around. I'm going to see if we can find it, because when you're moving, it's like you stop and your body would blow back, and then you would go all the way back and round, and then it's a great movement, but I can't really do it off the ice the same way. Haven't found it. There's photographs of it, but I'll show you a photograph of the position, and that might be the thing. But putting things together is, you never really want a dull moment. Like, I never like to see skaters just skating around with their arms straight. I always have to have, like, on a crossover. When you're skating around just like this is so boring. So I'd either have them do something with the hands like this, or I'd have them bring the hand down like this, or just cross down and out, or up and out, whatever. Sometimes just stepping forwards, using the arms in different ways as you step forwards. And then, there's 100 things that you can do. as you're skating, as long as it doesn't interfere with how the person is going into their jump. Say they're going into a jump, then obviously you keep it quiet so that they can do their preparation for the jump. And of course, there's a lot of things that you can do. Like Sarah, pretend you're landing an axel, any jump. And then she's going to do her landing position. So this is a landing position here, okay? And then she's going to cross her leg in front. Watch, and she's going to rondish on the leg, kick it up and out. Okay, so you do the landing, and there's a lot of things, even a hop. You could do a hop, or you could do like a little half, like a little jeté, like a little half. Now put the foot into a pivot position. Yeah, and now do like a half loop, like a to forwards. No, like you know that thing. Yeah. So sometimes you just have to really experiment, and it depends on how much time your student can give you for a lesson, because experimenting with them is really what gets the so much done. I'm trying to see if I can find this movement. It should be in the program. It should be. See if you can see it. But it's just one thing, and it depends on your music and how fast they're going at a certain time, but always trying to. Oh yeah, we found it. Okay, so this is something, a part of her slow part. Okay, hold on. There's no music. Da 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 da. That movement. Did you see that thing on the toes? So it's hard for me to explain it in words, but that's the sort of thing. I'll show it to you one more time. Why doesn't the sound come out? Oh, okay. We'll try this once again. Round, so hold it, hold it. Sorry, I'm yelling. It's not supposed to be as loud as that, but that was just a little part. Just a small part, and that was like a choreographic section, because now, thank goodness, they've brought in more choreographic sections. Thank goodness, yeah, because the footwork thing is driving me nuts, because it's the same for years and years and years. We're not doing figures. It's okay. You can do some beautiful things. I have this girl the other day doing a split jump, and she lands forwards. You know how you forward and do a 3-turn, but she stays forward and does a rocker and then leans. It's beautiful. So we doing choreographic sections, opens up your imagination, so you can try all different types of things, and then combining that with all of the edges, because I'm not a fan of lying on the ice too much. I like to see edges. I like to see flow. I like to see that difference in speeds, like sometimes, like in one of my pieces called Springtime Ballet, it's on YouTube many years ago, I'm going straight down in an arabesque, and then and then all of a sudden I change direction without showing anything. Like I used to do an outside, inside, outside, straight line, stop, go back, and up on my toe. I used to do the whole rink, and it was very strenuous. And I used to do a death spiral, and I learned that from playing around as a kid with another girl. She was Polish, and we used to play pair skating when we were little, like supposed to be practicing. We do all these crazy things, you know, when we were doing our playtime. So a lot of things come from experimentation. Yeah. And then lots of things, like the other day there was a girl I was taking, and I was just, somebody else had done the program, and I was just trying to sort of like highlight, you know, the whole thing. And I said, you don't have an ending. And so she was in a sit position, and now you can actually end your program or any part of your program in a sit spin and do a slide out of it. So I said, why don't you just end up in the slide? And I think I have a photograph here. I'll see if I can quickly find it. Just let's see. Okay. Somewhere here. I think it should be. Can you see if you can? Oh no, it's not. That's on the wrong area. It's recent, very recent. It's like it's on the knee. Yeah. So I just got her to do it, and I said, just do it. So that's what I'll say to somebody. Okay, do a slide, and then I'll structure the arms. Okay, here it is. Okay, so she fell over doing it, but but there's lots of things now that is actually really good that they can do, like come out of a spin and do a little pirouette jump, or you know, some loop thing, or you know, I've got loads of stuff on video, which would have been good to have had already and organized to show you things like that, but I wasn't sure what everybody was interested in. But anyway, the other thing that helps me is if sometimes I write poetry. I have a book actually of things that I need to get published, and I've never done it. But one of the poems that inspired me with When Atoms Embrace was, lay me in a field of wildflowers, let the scent perfume the hours. When the atoms embrace and time changes its pace, I will find all my magical powers. So, you know, I have a lot of poems that are kind of like surreal, some of them. And I don't know whether anybody would want to hear them during this session, but anyway, yeah, writing about things sometimes can be inspiring, and you know, just listening to lots of music all the time, like all sorts of different pieces of music, and then something will get to you and think, oh, that would be great for that person, and then you build that around them and try and use their personality as much as possible, you know, because it's not just about my ideas and what I'm doing, it's also I'm trying to bring out the way they move, because not everybody moves the same. I mean, Sarah's a gorgeous mover and moves absolutely beautifully. And when she was little, have you got a video of when you were like, do you want to have a look? I'm going to show you a video of Sarah when she was 7, and how I got her in my ice classes, which I based on John Curry's exercises, which covered every edge, every turn, every stop, every skid, every type of thing. And so Sarah and her husband, her sister, her sister Hannah would come to these classes, and I just would really get them to let go and not to try, just to let the music flow through them and to just be themselves, to make a statement about who they are. Not about me or anybody else. It's about them. And even when you choreograph for something, for somebody, it becomes them. You know, when you watch Liz Schmidt do When Atoms Embrace, she's been doing it for 6 years now. Quite amazing. And we'll have to do something new. But it would be amazing to see. Okay, so here's Sarah. Let's see. All right. Is there another one, Sarah? That's a funny one. Have you got I wish you could play the music at the same time. Mm. Her sister Hannah did a lovely one. Oh, here we are. Okay. And now Sarah is going to skate to that music. And do you want to show the beginning? Okay. So we've got a beginning that we did the other day, last week. Huh? On the floor. Yeah. Yeah, we start down on the ice, and we've only done about 30 seconds or something. So have you got it ready? Oh, she's going to do it. You want to do it here? Oh, she was going to, so she can show you the actual beginning here because it's on the floor, but she's going to show you the little piece on the ice. Do you know one of the pieces I sent? Okay, so I hope this is of some help to you. So you can see, oh, what do we do here? Where's the thing, Sarah? Oh, there, it's back again. Okay. Inspiration is the key. You know, express yourself, whether you're happy or sad or you're annoyed. Or there was one night, I'll tell you a little story. I was doing an ice show and I was doing a code spot, and there's this big velvet curtain that weighed tons. And well, maybe not, well, it was pretty heavy. And the guy who opened the curtain for me to come through wasn't there. And I was skating to a piece of piano music called Bilitis, something or other, Springtime Ballet. And I didn't know what to do because I could tell they were announcing me. And then, so I crawled under this heavy weighted curtain, and I was so furious. I was like mad. Like, where was he? Where is he? How could this possibly be happening to me? And I skated like amazing, because I was really, really angry. And I don't know, I can't remember now. It was an awful long time ago when I was first professional in the first few years, you know. But sometimes our mood can really express how we perform, you know, if it's an actual performance. Have you found it? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is Sarah with the music on. Is it on? Okay. Is it Sarah? Where's the music? Oh, where's the toe part? Well, that's just a little bit, and then it goes into a piano piece. And she does this beautiful stuff. Actually, she worked quite a bit with Vakhtang Mirandus, and he always talks about strengthening the toes and the feet, because your feet are inside of these boots that are very hard, and your foot can't move the same way that it would in a sneaker. right? And Fred knows a lot about that recently. So your feet are really not using the muscles, and that affects actually the next part of your leg, the calf muscle, because you're not able, like I'm always trying to get skaters to point their toes. Here's this other part of Sarah. So this is the next part that we did. Oh, there's no music. Oh, wait a minute. Is it going to play? Okay. Oh, that was different. Oh, that's the wrong music. How's that?
Well, I didn't do it with the music. No.
Oh, I see. Okay. So anyway, what we did was this beautiful, inspired by Vaktang, and then we do a loop where she brings the foot round and goes onto the toe. So let's have a look at that bit again. Okay. So sometimes, you know, when you're doing something and the leg swings around, think, what would this lead to? You know, like there we did a loop and then the leg swung around, and I said, what if you do this and push back? And it's difficult. It's a tricky movement. She has to be really focused, you know, doing that kind of thing. But there's a lot of things that we've been working on. Like I get her to do a spin. I don't know if you've got anything on video on the toe. You know, you're spinning and then you go, woo, and you spin like a ballerina on the toe. And when I was young, I remember my coach used to make me do that at the end of a spin. Would go, it's a thing they did many, many years ago. Would go up on the toe and suspend. It's not easy to do, but it is a beautiful thing to do. So I'd like to have more questions and answers. If I don't know what time it is now, 6:40. So we're getting there.
I have a question, Lorna.
Yes.
We as coaches and choreographers, we feel the music and we know what we want to do to the music. Do you have any exercises that you would give skaters when they don't really feel it the same way you do, and you're trying to get the movements across the right way? Is there sort of
well,
as a means exercises to help them?
Well, what you could do is like you could start with it off ice, and then you could sometimes it's because they're self-conscious. Sometimes they're like, when I start my classes off, and a lot of people have taken this on, I would start off in a circle, and each person comes out and they introduce themselves in movement, in body language. And some people just can't do it. You know, they just feel so inhibited, they can't. But some people come out and they just, you know, do their thing. But what I would do is I would have a lot of different types of music and little short sections, about a minute, and just get them to improvise to all these different types of musics. And sometimes, if it's possible, even in a room that's not too bright, so they don't feel too conspicuous, because it depends. It can be any age, but you know, young kids. I have one little girl, Mia. She used to go on the ice and she used to fly around and sing and everything. I didn't care in the world, and had no inhibitions at all. You know, she'd just do anything she felt, and you know. But some kids, they're just so inside of themselves, and so you've got to help that. You've got to try to inspire them. Tell them to imagine that they're a tree in the wind, and the wind's blowing them. They can feel the wind against them. Or maybe they're in the water and they're trying to get out, and they're trying to, you know, whatever, these lots of different types of movement that you want them to learn about, and just get them to use imagination. And like I said before, I had this girl, Izzy Gorowski, and she wasn't getting enough tension if she was doing the movements and everything. And like I said, more tension, more feeling, you know, more is it pulling everything? It goes out and comes in, you know, or goes around. And so You just have to inspire them. Try to get them to find a piece of music that they love, and just get them to do their own thing. And then it's easier for them to respond to what you're teaching them.
Yeah, quite often they come to you with a piece of music, and I always say, well, you've listened to this music and you picture yourself skating to it. But it's very hard sometimes to just get them to bring that out. Like they imagine themselves doing it, but they won't do it on the ice. You're quite right. It's inhibition, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, but also they've got to, like, we're talking before about the shape and the form. So they'll be doing something. I mean, you could go and do like 2 or 3. I don't know what she's going to do, but do 2 or 3 different positions, just very sort of carelessly. Like she can't do anything carelessly, right? But yeah, just do flip flop flop do 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 do. Okay, well, she can't make anything look like that. But now just really feel the movements, like more feeling into it. See the head, the body, the arms, the fingers, the whole self comes alive. Yeah. So is there anything else that I could help with?
Do you use a lot of video and mirror work when you're teaching kids? It looks like you have a lot of videos. Do you have them keep that? Keep that? Do you film them?
I usually send them stuff. Okay. Like the other day I was working with was that another bit? Okay. Well, anyway, I was working with this girl she's competing at the weekend, and I transformed something, and she was doing this really weird movement, and I didn't like it. So I said, just do, it's like a cross, and with her arms just straight out, and then she turns into this position. She's moving across the ice when she's doing that. So I try to make positions so that they've got, if you see a lot of triangles in a lot of my, it's really odd. And I only discovered that about a year ago at the end of, so many years in my life. But I see a lot of triangular things. And I think it's because I use all the joints, I'm not so much of a rounded type. I'm more into sort of like when I'm doing things, it's much more sort of like, do you want a piece of that piano music on or something? And then, but there's a lot of angular, like I use a lot of the hands as well. Okay. All right. So I was just doing anything. But just getting skaters to just try and make all different shapes and forms, and like I said, you could imagine you're a tree in the wind, or you're a dolphin playing in the waves, or you're a horse running through the sand, or whatever it might be, imagination. So yeah. And then putting things together as well, you know, like for the competition you were talking about for competition. When your skater goes out onto a warm-up, the judges are watching. Okay, I know this is not really just about competition skating, but whatever it might be, whether it's an artistic thing or a technical thing, whatever, whoever's out there, whether it's the audience or the judges, they see what you look like or what you're wearing, and we're human, so it's visual impact. So you know, you try to create a great image, and so I look at somebody like I've forgotten her name now, the current ladies world champion, and I got really upset because she doesn't point her toes, and she's a world champion, and I think world champions should point their toes, and they should know about all this magic that they can create in, you know. And in the beginning, she's getting better, but in the beginning, it was like, oh, you know, it was like the coming back of Midori Ito with more, you know, the current rules and steps and everything else. But yeah, seeing somebody who really pays attention to the detail, and without it, it just doesn't, you know. I mean, it depends on what level they are. I know it could be just beginner, or it could be advanced, or anything. But even with my beginners, I work on the detail. It's built in. It's built in from even when they do their first classes. I'll tell them about their posture and about how to stretch their arms and hold themselves, even in the very beginning, because that's what happens in the ballet world. They don't, in the dance world, whether it's ballet or contemporary or modern jazz. I mean, I had the opportunity of working with Bob Fosse's co-choreographer. She came to teach at a couple of my summer camps in England when I had Raphael come in for 7 years in a row, and I had some fantastic people. You know, I had dietitians and sports psychologists and fitness coach and a judge talking about things, or a technical specialist. And I gave them everything in those camps that they would need to go away with and feel they've really got something from it. But you know, it's like, even if you're just doing exercises, whether you're doing moves in the field or you're just warming up, you see skaters warm up and it looks like they don't pay any attention. And I'll say, when you're warming up, I want to see good posture. I want to see stretched free leg. I want to see nice clean edges. If it's just cross rolls, like really nice, how you do it. At the end of the day, those famous words, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So we're nearly finished now. So is there anything else that we could discuss, or anything else that you want me to show you?
Can you talk a little bit more about how you teach posture to skaters that don't have any dance training? Because we run into that a lot, where we've got skaters that are good technical skaters, but they don't know how to create good posture.
Yeah. Well, you know, you'll see skaters and they're just standing, you know, and a lot of the time they've got a bad neck now from looking at their phones all the time. So I say, okay, don't slouch, stand up straight. Let me see you stand up straight. And I tell them that to think of their spine at the back. This is like a ladder, and in between each bone in your back, there's a space. And I want you to make the space a little bit bigger. And at the same time, press the shoulders down. And you know those wine bottle openers that you pull down, and hold on a second, I'll see if I've got one handy. I might just have one handy enough, I'm not sure. I don't think I can find it. I don't drink wine very often. Yeah, it's not there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is a little crazy. I should have all these things ready before I start. So anyway, it's like this, and then you push the things down, and then the cork comes up out of the bottle. So sometimes I'll take that to the rink and I'll show them this kind of thing. And I've got some wooden figures here that I use as well, like that I could put into, I'll show you these figures here. I've got them in all different sizes. Here's just a regular one. Sometimes with kids, you can say, okay, I want this shape. I want this arm like that, and then this arm here, and this whatever. I mean, I can't do it in a hurry, but you can use sometimes different things to express things. But the posture thing is also an awareness, because as I said before, there's an awful lot of kids on computers and on cell phones, so they're used to bending forwards. So you've got to get them to stand up and look around themselves and keep those shoulders down, so that they feel that they're lengthening their whole body. And sometimes as well, skaters, they stick their butts out, so you have to tilt the pelvis forwards. Sometimes they'll be standing, but they're arching their back too much, so you have to tilt that pelvis forwards. And you can do a lot of exercises for your hips, like push forwards to the side and back and side and front. So, but posture is something that you have to bring into almost everything, even when you're in a position. Like if you watch Sarah, let's just do this in a little thing. So she's going to stand just in a very relaxed way. Okay, now you're going to really straighten up. Press the shoulders down, lift your head. Okay, now turn sideways. That's it. Okay, and then I want you to arch your back and stick your butt out a bit. Sometimes skaters are a bit they're like that. So you've got to push your pelvis forwards. That's it, and keep the shoulders really down. I used to work a little bit. So Sarah used to sometimes be a bit like this, and used to have to constantly keep her shoulders, push them down, and strengthen the muscles, because they're used to just standing in a sloppy way, So it's good. It's really good to get them to feel that lengthening the space here, and then the feeling of the shoulders being down like that. And then when they're skating, try to keep that posture and that feeling in the neck here, the feeling of lengthening this part of the neck, keeping the chin just a little bit up. And if you're skating for an audience and there's a lot of people at the back, which there very rarely is anymore, but is to keep the head, you're always looking up, not all the time, obviously, but when you're just skating around or you're doing something, you would look up and out to the back row. So I think if there's anything else, I'm very happy to help. And otherwise, we're nearly finished. So is there anything else I can help with?
No, that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I wish that I was there in person, to be honest. It's something that I've not done before I've done FaceTime, when I'm actually doing a lesson with somebody, it's more direct, and we have a specific thing we're working on. But I hope that it's been some help in some way, even if it's just about the inspiration and, finding different ways of doing things and stylistic dynamics. Okay, so thank you all very much for coming, and I hope that in the future, I'll see some of your work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Lorna. That was so wonderful. Yes, Lorna and Sarah, thank you guys. So I'll hang out for just a minute if anyone has any questions about AIT, or you want to chat about anything related to that. Just one more plug that our registration for Adult Weekend Skateaway in September is open, and the early bird registration with the discount will be open for the next 2 weeks. So that's all from me. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining. We love seeing your faces, even if it's through Zoom, not the same as in person.
Yeah, it was great. It's great having you online. Thank you so much for coming.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
So great to see you. Great to see you, Lorna. Sarah,
Thanks for joining, you guys.
thank you very much. This was really great to spend some time with them.
Yes, they're the best.
Thank you. See you in New York sometime.
Bye.